Hey, fabulous people, how are you? It is Wednesday, and I'm doing a Facebook Live today. And let me just check to make sure that I am live on Facebook. Otherwise, what's the point? So give me a second to do that check. Am I? Yes, how exciting. Good, good, good. Okay. So haven't done one of these for a while, so I'm glad you're joining me today. If you're live with me, as always, I'm coming to you from StreamYard, and it's very helpful to me if you drop a comment in the comment section telling me who you are. Otherwise, you just show up on StreamYard as Facebook user, and I don't know who I'm talking to, and that is not fun. So let me know who's here, if you're here. If you're watching on the replay, any comments you drop in the comment section, I will always circle back and address you, comment back, answer any questions. So you are not alone. So don't worry about that. I am so excited about today's event because I think this is super, super, super important to anybody in business. And planning your year is something that we as entrepreneurs frequently don't do, for a whole bunch of different reasons. But let me get into the meat of it. Got lots of notes here because I could ramble all day. And this is going to be a long one, you guys. So again, if you're watching the replay, hang in there, or even if you're live with me, hang in there. I have a special invitation at the end I don't want you to miss. So let's get started. So we're talking about the power of good planning. Business planning, if done well, gives you a framework for consistent growth, helps increase your profits year after year, and allows for plenty of downtime. So one of my themes lately, and especially going into next year, is simplicity, simplifying your business, having a much healthier relationship between your outside life and your business life. I'm all about the simplicity. So doing the work of an annual plan creates that for you. But before we even get started with the nuts and bolts of the planning itself, I want you to start with the following mindset. And this is really important. The last year and a half have been a bear, right? I don't care what's going on in your life and your business. This has been really hard stuff for all of us. But this is the time to take a good look at what was not successful, keep the best and discard the rest, and be done with it. So whatever has happened during the pandemic, it's time to acknowledge it, take a look at it, learn what you can from it, and then make your peace with it and move on. This is not when you want to haul baggage into next year. This is really important because you want to come into the year fresh and clean and not carrying stuff from the past year. It was hard, but 2022 is a new beginning. This past year, though, has also been good for reevaluation. If you've been an entrepreneur that's been in growth mode, you've been working hard. You've been doing all the things and, building your team and coming out with no programs or whatever else you're doing. Stop and take stock of what has been happening and really ask yourself, is this the pace at which I want to work going forward? Do I need to be this busy? Do I want to be this busy? What do you want? What do you want your life and your working life? How do you want that to look? And how do you want that to feel? So take advantage of this time to just reevaluate. Don't take for granted that what was will be what you carry into 2022. Think about, and I'm thinking about this a lot, how much energy, time, and money do you want to devote to your business? More is not better. You're going to hear me say this a lot. More is not better. More can create chaos, stress, feeling out of control. Think about what works for you at this stage of your life. And this is why I suggest doing this evaluation, this goal planning, or this yearly annual planning annually, because life is always changing. So take a deep breath, take a look at what happened for you in 2021, make your peace with it, and decide what, if any of it, you want to bring forward into 2022. So let's get to the meat of it. What are the benefits of good planning? Business planning helps owners do the following. One of my clients, whom I adore, tells me that she feels like she's eating or having to eat her spinach by doing an annual plan or even doing a 2 quarters in the future plan. She hates it, but she knows it's good to her. And I'm constantly having to goose her into planning further ahead because it just makes life so much simpler. So it helps you examine your business from a big picture perspective. It helps you determine what's profitable, what's working, and what's not working. It brings order, focus, and clarity to the business for the next year. And again, as we talk about simplifying, streamlining, and getting focused, this is really what you want to take into 2022. So I'm going to talk about 8 steps to show you exactly how easily yet powerfully you can plan your year. Just checking to see who's on, who's here. Okay. All right, the following 8 steps, let's begin with the building of your plan. Step 1, and this is where I always ask you to start. Consider your family obligations first. Family comes first, no matter how you define family. Family comes first. Your business should wrap around your personal life, not the other way around. No one is more important than your family. No one. And there's no part of your life that's more important than your personal life. So get out the kids' school calendars, your partner's commitments, get a grip on what all is going on in your life. Have you planned vacations? Do the kids have, plays or what have you? Be aware of what's coming up and be willing and ready to plug those into your calendar first, because that's a top priority. Also, make sure you're plugging in self-care for yourself. You are your biggest asset in the business, and you want to make sure that you're taking yourself into consideration. So it's not just your by family, I mean you too. So start with your family first. Don't forget, you can enjoy yearly growth and still vacations and enjoy plenty of downtime. So while thinking about family obligations over the next year, consider things like kids' vacations and schedules from school if you have kids in the house, holidays. Make sure that you're taking the day after Thanksgiving off, and you can and you want to. Are you going to take the time off between Christmas and New Year's? Family trips, weddings. What do you have coming up that you want to block off in your calendar so you have to work around that and knowing that that is your top priority? Okay, second step, starting with the big rocks. Mapping out your year starts by adding all the big immovable objects first. So these are the main events and happenings that will occur in your business over the next year. You want to know that these events, what they are, and when you anticipate them occurring. So again, what are you going to do, and when is it going to happen? When you think about your big rocks for the coming year, be sure to include things like all the new products or service launches that you're going to do. What's new you're going to bring to market? Do you have plans to publish a book? Are you doing any in-person retreats that you have to plan for and block out on your calendar, definitely months in advance? Online events you're participating or organizing, big collaborations or partnerships, speaking or consulting work, any new or big plans related to your business. So these are the things that you can identify right off the bat, plug those in. Take a look at where they look on your calendar. Get these on your calendar first. You want to make sure that you aren't running yourself ragged, moving from one huge event to the next. I've done this, so I've gone from an online summit to an in-person event. They were back to back. I thought I was going to die, but you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself with stuff like that. And the key to ensure the most important events happening, this is the key to ensuring that the most important events and happenings take center stage. If I had known, or if I had looked at my calendar, I would have known that those 2 events, I would have realized they were too close and I needed time in between. So one of them had to go. So this is why I say block this stuff out in advance. If you haven't ever mapped out this far in advance, if you're constantly working off the cuff, now is the time. This will keep you sane and maintain focus. And I'm sharing this because typically I don't work I have not worked in the past more than 6 months in advance. And this is the first year going into 2022 that I'm doing this whole exercise with you. I'm not just mapping out Q1, Q2, I'm mapping out the whole year. And this is a significant change in how I view my business, right? So this is why I wanted to do this event to share with you. Okay, if you have comments, please drop them in the comment section and just say hi so I know who you are and that you're here. Love to hear from you. Okay, number 3, check your system capacity. By that I mean you're going to take a practical look at your business capacity to handle growth. Okay, so you can effectively scale your business and serve more clients with the same tools you were using in earlier iterations of your business. And frequently, we sign up for products, programs, services, and we don't look at them again, right? So if you signed up for a certain email provider and you're used to using it, or your team is used to using it, maybe it's not the optimal for you to be using now. So I just went through this exercise a couple of months ago. I took a look at all the systems that I had in place for my business and whether or not they were really the right ones to use right now. So consider upgrading the following software and systems in your business: your shopping cart, if you have one, your web hosting, your web server, your online storage, email marketing system, membership site software if you're using one, customer relationship management, a CRM program. Are you using one? Are you not using one? Do you want to be using one? Project management software, team member collaboration and communication software and tools. So those are the types of things that you want to take a look at going into 2022 for a bunch of reasons. One is, do they still serve you? Are they still the optimal products and programs and services for you right now in your business? Secondly, are you duplicating anything, right? Do you have someone using lead pages and also we're using ConvertKit? Those two things overlap and you're paying for both. So take a look at, from a finance standpoint, are you duplicating what you're doing and you could consolidate? And then lastly, as I said, are the tools that you've got in place now working for you, and are you continuing to work with them because you're comfortable? Take a good look at that. Okay. Number 4, any comments, y'all? Alicia, hi, thanks for joining me. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. This is going to be a long one, but, and as I said, stay to the end because I have an offer that I'd like to tell you all about. So let me getting on to step 4. Focus on creating a team to help you achieve your business goals. I have talked about this so much that I'm sorry that I'm repeating myself. As you grow, so will your team. You can't and you shouldn't try to do everything yourself, right? Isn't that what Seller, the CEO, is all about? This is a recipe for disaster and will not support you in achieving your business goals. When you utilize the skills and expertise of other people, your value time is freed up to do the things that you do best, and you will probably gain. You have more opportunity to earn higher revenues because you're in your genius zone and you have other people taking care of stuff that you're probably not good at. So the point is to hire out the tasks that are requiring your business, but that you don't need to do. Does this sound familiar? This allows you to focus on the core aspects of your business. Take a fresh look at this. Are you working in your zone of genius? Are you doing the things that you should be doing to make sure that you are giving your best to the business and it will probably contribute to the highest level of revenue? If you're down in the weeds, it's not a good use of your time. So whether you've been growing your team over the last 2 years or you'll be hiring your first assistant or contractor, it's important to plan ahead for new hires. If you don't pull the plug now, that's fine, but know that in Q2 or Q3 or Q4, you're going to need to bring in a videographer or a copywriter or a social media manager or something. Block that out as you plan out your year. Take a look at what you're planning for the coming year. Consider what positions you'll need to fill. For example, will you need additional writers? As I said, a video editor, community managers, customer service support, or designers. As you're looking at the big picture, take a look at where you're going to need help, whether you hire them today or not, so that you aren't taken by surprise later on down the road in the year. Make a plan for that. Be honest with yourself too. What can you and your current team, if you've got one, realistically handle? Then plan for the additional hires you'll need for smooth execution of the plans that you are building right now. All right, fifth thing. Leave space for personal and professional growth. And this should be a part of your plan. This stage highlights the importance of leaving space for personal and professional growth. Staying holed up in your office, as we have been for the most of the last 18 months, all the time, is not a good way to grow your business. It's just not. Your business and you will benefit greatly from continued professional and personal development. There's always something new to learn, skills to sharpen, or a different strategy to try. Dedicate a portion of your time each year to continuing education, pursuing professional certifications if that's something that you want to do, attending industry events, this is a big one, and other learning opportunities. Let me get back to industry events for a second, and networking events. The fact that we are now able to get back into real life interactions within our industries, take a good look at what you can be and want to be attending in 2022. This is where the best collaborations come in. This is where the best partner arrangements come in. This is where you're bound to meet the people who are most likely to become prospects and customers. So plan for this. Make sure you're doing the research to figure out which ones you might want to attend, find out how much they cost, when do they happen, and make those choices. Block those into your calendar. Be realistic. Don't overdo. You're not going to go to an event a month if they're big, but don't neglect this either. And to help you stay organized, this is something I do. Keep a running list of courses or events that you want to participate in, or certifications you might want to sign up for. You can review your list each time you create your annual plan, or revisit it once a quarter, so that you don't have to start the research all over again. Don't leave this out of your plan. You need to be growing as a business owner and as an individual. Block that into your schedule. All right, 6.1. This is where the rubber hits the road, everybody. This is important. This now is the important stuff. It's all important, but this is the tactical stuff. This step 6, addresses a necessary component of successful business, positive cash flow, not just revenue. So we're going to talk now about blocking out your events and offers to maintain cash flow. This is where the tactical activities kick in. If you are working off the cuff or in a less organized or planned way, this can kick you in the butt. I guarantee it. So a lack of cash flow is one of the biggest reasons that small businesses fail, or that we go into a substantial debt. It's literally running out of money. You want to take a good look at 2022 to make sure that you don't let this happen. So plug into your calendar the launches, the speaking engagements, the new product releases, any revenue generating activity. Plug those into your year-long calendar. As an example, if you launch a product, or you launch a course, or you launch a program, how many launches are you going to do a year? Make that decision and plug those into your calendar. Are they week-long launches, once a quarter? Plug those in right up before 2022 starts. Are you going to do a monthly webinar? Are you going to do a monthly something, on Zoom? Plug those in. Are speaking events part of your visibility plan? You might not have those speaking gigs lined up yet, but you know that you're going to do those. So pick a week every month where you're going to get a speaking event lined up. You can change it later, but plug that in so that you have the reminder that one of your goals is to have a monthly speaking event going on. If you can do this for the whole year, you can take a much better look at where the holes are, right? If you know that you are pedal to the metal for Q1, you know exactly what's going to happen in 2022, January through March, but it starts to get a little sparse in Q3. This is where you want to take the time now to block out what you're going to be doing and then start looking for those opportunities, right? Where can you do a collaborative event? Where can you partner with someone on an Instagram Live? Where can you invite someone in to do a webinar with you? If you've got it in your calendar, if you've got it blocked out, you can start, you or your team, making those things happen. So a few tips to help you create positive cash flow in your business. Now, every event that you do, hopefully, should lead to more revenue. But something to keep in mind is that frequently more activity creates more expenses. So you want to take a look at the whole picture so that your cash flow is positive. So here are some tips to help you create positive cash flow in your business. On your high cash flow months, build up a reserve to avoid running low. So I've had this happen where Q1 of 2020 was fabulous, right? And I had so much extra money and I started spending it, not on, vacations, but I put it back into the business quickly, which, is nice. But when Q3 came along and I didn't have the same momentum, I was really struggling. So to maintain cash flow, make sure that you're reserving it for months that are not as flush, so you have a reserve so you avoid running low. You don't need to be doing huge events all the time. In fact, smaller product launches or smaller events released more frequently can help you moderate or even out your cash flow. Consider what products and services your clients are asking for and possibly adding those to your catalog or your calendar for next year. So in a couple of years past, I had my clients were asking me for a membership site or a mastermind. And so I plugged a mastermind into my program. I think that was in 2020. And it was very successful. It wasn't huge. I didn't want it to be huge. I wanted it to be an intimate event. But unless I'd heard from them, it wouldn't have occurred to me to block that into your calendar. So listen to what your clients have asked you or your prospects are asking you to do. And assess your business cash flow on a regular basis. I look at my numbers every single week, people, so I am super aware. I encourage everybody to do that. Know what your numbers are. Take a look every week so that you know if you're on or off target for both your revenue and your expenses and start to make adjustments accordingly. If you aren't sure how to review your cash flow, your accountant or accounting software should be able to provide cash flow statements. But you probably know on an intuitive level, are you in the black or you're in the red, and what can you do about that? So that's number 6, is to blocking out what you're going to be doing for the whole year. And this is where I'm encouraging you to look at the whole year, not just Q1, not just Q2, the whole year. Okay, step 7 is to plan your marketing. There are many ways you can market your business, and new marketing tools and strategies are coming out all the time. Be careful. But your products and services are not going to sell themselves. Pick the type of marketing activities that suit your personality and fit the teams that you may or may not have. So couple caveats on this. If you're going to do an event, a launch, a webinar, understand that you need to start marketing for this 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks in advance, right? You need to have gotten the marketing plan for each event that you're doing in place. That means, are you going to spend money on advertising? Is your team up to speed on what they need to do? Do you know what you need to do the marketing? This isn't just planning the events, it's the before and the after for those events. Take the time to do that. Anything you can template, right? If you do a webinar once a month, the prelim and the post-webinar activities can be duplicated, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but take all that into consideration. So back to planning your marketing. This is also a good time to take a look back at 2021. What worked for you and what didn't work for you? So I always encourage clients to take a look at what they're comfortable doing, either themselves or their team. So what marketing activities suit your personality, right? I love being on camera. I love doing this. I'm starting a YouTube, or I'm juicing up my YouTube channel for next year. That's something that I love to do. I hate writing, so blogging is not what I want to do. You might be the opposite, right? You might love to write. You might be leveling up your blogging. You might be looking at SEO for your blog so you get more visibility. You might look at creating articles. Take a look at the kinds of marketing that fit your personality. Make sure that you aren't too diverse. right? Because again, the more things you're trying to accomplish, the fewer will get done well. So those of you who are on every social media platform known to man, I would encourage you to stop that, because you can't do all of them well, and you're going to lose audience share, you're going to lose visibility, you're going to lose credibility. So some things to take in mind: you could start a YouTube channel, as I'm doing. You could commit to weekly blogging and making it really SEO hot, so that you are making sure to attract as many clients as you can. Work to grow your Instagram following. Instagram stories and IGs and Reels, that might be where you want to put your focus. Create and grow a free Facebook or a LinkedIn group. Launch a weekly podcast. Send regular content to your email subscribers. There's so many things you can be doing, and I don't want to give you too many choices, because you're going to start thinking about all the opportunities. Take a look at what you want to do with the purpose of promoting your events and activities and you as a brand. Make it tight, make it strategic, make sure that you will do it consistently, so that you are gaining mind share, market share, visibility share in the marketplace. And after looking at this list, considering other strategies that might be included, do any of those things stand out to you? I'm just asking you to take a look and do some good thinking about what you could be doing for 2022. What you did in 2021 doesn't necessarily dictate what you're going to do in 2022. You might be tired of blogging, right? You might be tired of creating videos for Instagram. You might not have been doing enough marketing in 2020. Yeah. So take a deep breath, take a fresh look at what you want to start doing or carry over into 2022 that's going to excite you and not drag you down. Remember, there's no perfect way to market your products and your services. It's not like there's a silver bullet with this. It's all what you want to do. What are you best at? Where will your voice be best heard? Are you really optimizing whatever channel you decide to use? The key is to choose the marketing strategies that work best for your personality, your business's bandwidth, and overall desire. So take a look at how you marketed your business last year. Did it work consistently? Did it exhaust you? Was it successful? It's time for a fresh take on that. So my last thought on the marketing thing is, marketing doesn't need to be difficult. However, it needs to be done consistently and strategically. So keep it simple, keep it strategic. I'm always helping my clients narrow down what they're doing so they can doing it really well and consistently. All right, so last step, and this one might surprise you, but given that I'm asking you to do a full year plan, be flexible. The last step in this process is focusing on the importance of being flexible with your business plan. God knows 2021 and 2020 created the need for flexibility in our businesses. And if you haven't learned that lesson by now, you never will. No plan is written in stone, right? You shouldn't be so focused on following this plan I'm asking you to create to a T that you miss opportunities or take actions that isn't on your plan or in your best interest. So it might be that in Q4, 3 or something, someone reaches out to you and says, I'm doing an online summit, which is exactly your target audience will be there. Do you want to participate? This is when you can whip out that annual plan that you've got and take a look at, is there room in your schedule to slot that in? If not, is there something else that you can dump? Is this something that you want to take on? Keep a willingness to be flexible, always being open to best opportunities as you go forward. My biggest request is that you don't overwhelm yourself. This is why mapping out the full year is going to give you focus on what you can and you cannot take on. So don't overcommit yourself. Revisit your plan often. I look at my plan every single month. Do that, if not more often. Stay focused on your end goal. Is it more money? Is your goal to get X amount of revenue in the door? Is it X amount of profit? Is your overall goal to create more of a work-life balance? Are you finding that you're working 5 days, 6 days a week, and you really only work 4? Keep all this in mind. And one more thing to keep in mind too. Business involves a lot of trial and error. The goal of planning is to have a clear path to follow to help you see what move you need to take next. Without doing this, you don't have enough of a focus, right? If you're working, if you're shooting from the hip, even, if you're only planning a quarter in advance, that doesn't give you the firepower to really plan strategically to build the year that you want to have for 2022. So your business plan is truly valuable when you can easily alter it to stay relevant in a rapidly changing marketplace. And you know that our world right now is rapidly changing. So one more thing I want to bring to your attention. Elyse, anybody else? Any other comments? If you have comments, drop them in the comment section and I'll get back to you. I want to make one offer. This is, I'm sorry, I just lost my notes here. Good, Elyse. So I want to offer you an opportunity to join me on a workshop to do just this, where you and I will get together to create your plan. And you might ask yourself, why I just went through this with you. Why do I need the help? The thing is, if you can commit, and so the workshop I'm offering is 2 sessions of 90 minutes each. They'll be in the evening, 4 o'clock Pacific time, which is 7 o'clock East Coast time, 2 days in a row. And I'll send you a link, which will give you information on that, what we'll cover in each session. But your question might be, why do I need to do that if I just walk through this process with you? And I will tell you why. It's because you probably won't do it yourself if left to your own devices. And if you can get yourself into a format where I'm going to walk you through those 8 steps so that we're working collaboratively to fill out that worksheet. I have a fabulous worksheet that I'm going to provide to you in this workshop. I will walk you through page by page, step by step, so that you build your plan. And by the end of that second session, you will have it in place, right? So you don't have to wonder about what your weeks, your months, your year's going to look like next year. Come work with me on this and let's build it together. So the workshop itself is 2 sessions of 90 minutes apiece. They're starting December 15th and 16th at 4 o'clock in the evening, so 4 to 5:30 Pacific time. The cost is $97, and I encourage you to sign up for this and get it done, okay? Because if you don't get it done, if you don't dedicate the time to doing this, you will not do it. I guarantee you. So do yourself a favor for planning your next year by dedicating the time. $97 is not a lot of money to making this happen for yourself. So I will put the link in the comments when I file this video. Any questions, you guys? Anybody? No questions. Okay. All right. Thanks for your time, everybody. I hope this was helpful. And I'll get back to you in an email with more information. I'll post the link to get more information on the workshop in just a minute. Thanks for joining me today, everybody.